Report.
Everything's status quo, sir.
Very well. If anyone needs me, I'll be in my ready room.
Hello, and welcome to the Readier Room, the only and longest running Star Trek The Next Generation rewatch podcast. Every week we're bringing you another episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, and all the behind-the-scenes stories that went into making it the generation that it was, which of course was the one that preceded the prior generation. My name is Mitchell Mells, Chief Consultant of Services at Paramount, and with me is my life partner Brandon Hobbs. Brandon, how are we doing today?
Well, Mitch, I'm contractually obligated to tell you I'm doing great.
You're contracting?
So that's what I'm doing. The contractions are starting.
No! We specifically planned around this.
Contractually obligated. Contractionally obligated. Trying to work with this.
Yeah, it's a hard job being in the podcasting business, as they say.
Gotta be quick.
Yes. I'm not quick enough for that, but I do pretend to be. Which puts me in a pretty good spot relative to everybody else.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that is what they say. Fake it till you make it.
Right. Fake it till you mitch it. Really. So
Nice tagline.
Thanks. I have that at the top of my resume.
Fake it till you mitch it.
Yeah.
The fact that it doesn't rhyme makes you just sound like a complete sociopath.
Are you thinking that it should be fitch it until you mitch it?
Yeah, fitch it till you mitch it.
Fitch it till you... Now, how do you feel about till versus until?
It's got to be till.
Like
It doesn't flow right.
Like put some cash in the till?
Yeah, no, like the contraction. I'm not gonna say it.
I'm contracting.
Yeah.
Dude, don't start my contractions.
So Ukraine's getting invaded. That's new.
Yeah, I remember that you were the one who made that decision.
Yep, that was on my order.
Now, question, and I don't mean anything by this, but where do you get off?
Oh, gosh, lots of places. Usually the bedroom. Sometimes in the bathrooms at work, though.
I see.
I'll just sneak into the stall and rub one out really quick.
What do you rub it on?
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever I can find.
Whatever's handy at the moment.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm a big fan of rubbing one out, if you know what I mean. Usually I have to put in a lot of elbow grease to get these spots out of my table. I really rub them out of there.
Where do you buy your elbow grease?
Lowe's, mostly. I mean, you know how it
Okay.
is.
I know. I was there a couple days ago. I couldn't find any.
I think you might have actually accidentally went to Highs.
Maybe.
You know, instead of Lowe's.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as you pick up what I'm putting down. Did you find it down there? What I put down?
I think so.
That's good. That's good. So, we have a question of the week this week from one of our viewers. Presumably. I mean, it could just be some guy. I mean, I don't...
It could be us.
It could be us. I don't have conclusive evidence that we have a viewer, but I want to believe. Believe.
We're getting a lot of questions for supposedly not having any viewers.
This is true. And everyone would do well to remember our status. Anyway.
That's right.
This week's question of the week comes from an old crone in Virginia who asks, they say, Admirals, I know you're big wheels in the t-shirt game, so I ask, what is the worst Star Trek t-shirt you have ever seen? And thank you for the question, you fucking old bag. I think I speak for both of us when I say we've seen quite a lot of hideous, terrible pieces of apparel.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Star Trek. Being a Star Trek fan doesn't really tend to lend itself to being fashionable. Right?
No, quite the opposite. I remember one of my first cons I ever went to. There was at least 7 different people, all distinct from each other, wearing shirts that said "Live 5.5 inches long and prosper."
That's right. Yeah, that was a big one a few years ago.
Which, if nothing else, it's accurate, I guess. So good.
Yeah, well, I don't. It might be exaggerating a little bit, but yeah, somewhere around there probably. Yeah, that one sucked. The Beam Me Down Scotty.
Oh, shirt. with like the blowjob picture on it.
With the blowjob, yeah, which is just offensive.
Extremely.
It's gross.
I don't know where. I mean, I asked you earlier. I'll ask them now. I don't know where these people get off, to be honest.
Well, presumably they can get off anywhere. All they have to do is look at their shirt.
Do you think they get off to their own shirt?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I know they get into their own shirt every morning, but not off of it.
Off to it.
Off to it. Ah.
Off to it.
I'm off to it. We're off to this podcast already. That was a good one. I saw this one the other day. I was in a Cinnabon, and I saw this guy wearing a shirt that said on the back, "My other T-shirt is a Klingon bird of prey." I don't really.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting because I saw a shirt actually fairly recently as well. It said my other T-shirt is a Romulan warbird.
Interesting. Now, I'm glad that both of these shirt designers, which might be the same company, I don't know, deigned it upon themselves to clarify which one was the bird of prey and which one was the warbird. Like what?
Right.
Yeah. So that's good. Oh man, these T-shirts they leave a lot to be desired. I think I saw one that said it said your Millennium Falcon could fit inside my Enterprise. And
that doesn't even make any sense.
It doesn't, but to this day, I am still considering the ramifications of all of that. What it means, what it could mean, what it could possibly be alluding to. But that's only half Star Trek, so I don't want to, break the rules of the podcast.
When you think about it, though, the Millennium Falcon has to be quite a bit smaller than the Enterprise.
Yes, I mean, it is just some podunk smuggler ship.
Actually, it's a Corellian freighter.
What does that mean?
Well, it's from Corellia, and it's a freighter.
Oh, I thought Corellia was a measure of time.
No, it's actually a measure of distance.
Oh, I see. Is it a measure of discus, like the Olympic sport?
Is that a sport?
It's a pastime. Certainly. Now,
never heard of it.
No, well, I mean that reminds me of the litany of saucer sep, related shirts that we've seen, that I've seen. I assume you've seen them.
Well, we have our own saucer sep shirt, of course.
We do. Those
are some of the better ones, though.
We like the saucer sep.
The saucer sep is important.
I'm a big fan. But
we stan
the saucer sep. I want to get a T-shirt for my own use, so maybe this doesn't fit the purview of the question of bad T-shirts. But I want to get a T-shirt that has the saucer sept, if you will, with just like a teacup on it, like a saucer.
Oh,
yeah, and maybe it could be like a Valentine. I set my sauce for you.
Well, that's good. That's good. How about a T-shirt of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the backdrop is a giant Picard resting his teacup on it.
Ooh, I like that.
He's sitting down and the Enterprise is saucer sepping in front of him.
Now, do you think this is more menacing or more awe-inspiring, this large Picard?
I would say the latter. I don't think suddenly becoming giant would change Picard's character very much. Although who knows?
What does the latter have to do with this?
He really wanted to get that one out.
Well, where else am I going to get that out?
In the same place you got off.
On my t-shirt? If you also have a question of the week that you would like to ask us, be sure to send it to the Readier Room at gmail.com or send us a tweet at the Readier Room. And, we fuck with it. We fuck with that.
Damn straight.
Damn tootin'. All right. So this week, good lord, The Hunted?
The Hunted.
The Hunted.
Yeah.
The formerly known as The Hunter.
Yeah. Formerly known as Who Hunts the Hunter.
Right. I did not like this episode at all.
Yeah.
As I don't know if it's just my latent sexism, but any episode heavily featuring a Troy, I just tune out and start hearing static fuzz on my TV.
Yeah. Well, I have in my notes about a third of the way through, Troy shows up and the episode is ruined.
Funny thing that
it's pretty. I don't know. Yeah, it's bad. There are some okay things about this episode, I guess, but not enough to make it really enjoyable watching. There's a lot of long action set pieces.
How do you feel about long action set pieces?
Well, in Trek, I'm not really a big fan because it's never very interesting. When Danar initially comes on board the Enterprise, and like Data and Riker crawling along the floor trying to pin him down.
Yeah,
it's a little silly looking.
I would describe all of the quote unquote action in this episode as stilted.
Yeah,
that's a generous reading of it, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think a large part of this episode is dedicated to a very, very boring action sequence. The parts that don't feature any interesting moral dilemmas or ethics or anything. But it's weird because it kind of presents itself as having that.
Yeah. Well, there's this little cop-out where Picard is like, oh, if I can help you, I will. But I'm actually just going to give you over to the government.
Let them sort it out.
Yeah, and everything that actually happens is all through Danar's own volition. The crew has nothing to do with it. Oh, really? There's the long sequence at the end. It's interesting to me because, where Danar's trying to escape the Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to me because that wasn't even supposed to be in the script. That was a rewrite.
Yeah,
and
it
takes up
like
the entire third act of the episode.
Unto itself, even when you put aside its origin, it's also just so boring. Danar just slowly walks through hallways without anything else. And there's this action music playing. It's supposed to be exciting, and it's just so slow and boring and flat. Not to mention the 50% of shots that are just people standing in the bridge.
Right. Yeah, I think I pretty much just a couple minutes into that sequence, I started looking away from the episode and doing something else.
Yeah. Check your phone, whatever. I wanted to mention this, and you're gonna harangue me, I know. But coming off of watching so much Deep Space Nine, it really shines a light on how flat and boring the shots are in TNG. And also how unexciting the sets are as well, but the camera work is just so bad in this show. I don't know how this was maybe it was the standards are different, but I don't really know how people accepted this at the time.
I totally disagree with that.
Really?
I mean, some directors, yeah, I can see an argument being made. We've talked about that already. There's directors here and there that have these very conspicuously flat shots, and I think TNG isn't exactly. It doesn't really have the most varied sets or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty. I would agree that it's pretty one note, but I don't know if I would call it, flat all the time. The action's always boring.
The action's always boring, but I feel like so many of the dialogue scenes are just reverse shot of characters standing with their arms at their sides in.
Oh yeah, sure. But I've always felt, because that's how the original series was. I've always felt that to be kind of emblematic of Trek, even if it's not necessarily maybe good. I don't know. I don't know if I would even call it a negative, to be honest.
That's a bizarre kind of Stockholm syndrome, I feel.
It's not Stockholm syndrome. It's just, I mean, it's just how Trek always was.
Right, but why is that? Who cares? I mean, it's been however many years, right? Just let it fucking go. You don't need to.
Well, they did let it go.
Like the song.
Oh yeah, like the Disney film about those two carpet munchers.
Yes, as they are colloquially known.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna moonch.
That movie sucked.
You think so?
Yeah, it was really bad. It was boring. Nothing happened.
They didn't even
kiss.
Yeah, they didn't get a hard pee-pee.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Hey, did you watch that episode of Deep Space Nine yet with Thomas Riker?
With Thomas Riker? No, I've not.
You're in for a treat.
I think I am. So which one is that? What happens?
What episode are you not? It's season 3, episode 9.
That I'm probably on like season 3, episode 6 or 7 right now.
Oh, okay. So you're coming up on it.
Yeah. I'm kind of excited, just for you to, if you mention that, because I'm into anything Riker adjacent. You know me. I'm a Riker slut.
We love Riker.
Yeah. So is that the same? Is that his father from he was in TNG?
No, it's his clone.
Oh, that fucking Riker.
Yeah.
What a storyline that was.
I totally forgot about that, and then I was on Memory Alpha as usual. It's how I spend most of my free time.
Of course.
And I was looking at Deep Space Nine episodes, and I was like, wait a minute. Thomas Riker comes back.
What a character.
Pretty great.
Really.
Yeah, so now I'm interested. I'm intrigued by what this episode's about.
Well, I'll report back live on the Readier Room. So I guess we should, so with this episode, as always, probably start closer to the beginning rather than the end.
Yeah, sure. We open with a I love matte paintings.
I know.
And we open with a very nice matte painting. I'm surprised it's not one we've seen before, but it's not. It's entirely new, and it looks great. I love it.
It's a lot of quality, the effort that goes into a matte painting, and it's immediately obvious.
Yeah, and I mean, like, when you use them right, they look really good. Like, Blade Runner used a lot of really good matte paintings.
Now,
and that movie looks incredible.
Before we go any further, I have to ask, have we made a matte painting joke before on the podcast?
I think no, maybe not.
Like, first name Matt, last name painting.
Matt painting. Yeah, no, we haven't. Do you want to? Do you want to
let's
out?
Yeah, let's think about this. I love matte paintings. Oh, when did you meet each other? We could do better.
Yeah, his name is Matt Paintings.
Old friend of yours? That's a good one, right?
Mm-hmm. I love Matt Paintings. Oh, old friend? Yeah.
I'm into it.
It's not bad.
If I do say so myself, I like my own joke.
I love matte paintings. Well, why didn't you marry him?
There we go. So, the matte painting that we open on is the world. I forget the name of this planet, but
Angosia, I think.
Andosia. So there.
Huh? Angosia.
Angosia.
Yeah.
Nangosia. So,
and
when
you're trying to join the Federation.
Right. Now, when we cut to them, we get immediate evidence of one of the rules, the maxims of the TNG Bible, which is that every spacefaring society eventually converges on the onesie as the ultimate form of clothing.
Yeah, and it's hard to disagree with that. I mean, that's one of Gene's most genius ideas. The onesie is the most convenient form of clothing.
Right. It's the most fun you can have with a cloth.
It certainly is. It's very comfy. You cover your little feet.
Right. Yeah, the onesie covers the feetsies.
That's what they say.
That's what they all say. Now, who is this actor? I am struck with the idea that I've seen him before.
Oh, it's James Cromwell, also known as that guy you see in everything but never know his name.
Well, that's really panning out here.
Yeah, James Cromwell plays Nayrock. This is actually before he was... I mean, he was in Babe right before this, I think, but
Babe?
This is before he was in a lot of like high-profile stuff. So it's more after this that you've probably seen him.
Now, do you think that a lot of people... rather that his big break, as it were, came from being in Star Trek?
Probably. I mean, that's how most people get started.
Amazing.
People see their amazing performances on Star Trek, and they're like, oh, I gotta have that guy.
It really helped Lawrence Tierney's career.
Yeah.
But I find this ostensibly interesting. It's probably the best way to put it.
It certainly is. Yeah. Yeah, if done right, this could be good. So, some guy pulls Nayrock aside, the prime minister aside, and they whisper in the corner about 3 feet away from Picard, and apparently a prisoner has escaped from Lunar 5, which is a prison colony.
Yeah, but which is a big threat. It's like the biggest thing.
And because these guys are not predisposed to violence. This race of people, I guess, which is kind of a weird characteristic, but
every race, every planet has to have their thing.
Right. These are just normal people who, for some reason, are very averse to violence, just genetically. But yeah, so Riker volunteers to find this escaped shuttlecraft, and they beam back to the Enterprise, and they're trying to track him, but they don't find any human life signs on their sensors. Or on their sensors.
I was going to correct you. You have to be careful about this.
That was one of Cliff's mission statements for this episode. That, homogenize the pronunciation of sensors. But Brent really didn't agree for whatever reason, and he really dug his heels in on it. And the unfortunate consequence is, now like this is still a pretty hotly debated thing, right? What the canon pronunciation for sensors is, but it absolutely is sensors. And you heard it here first.
You can try to rationalize it in lore, given the fact that characters like Wesley have changed their pronunciation. It wasn't always standardized as sensor, and thus maybe nobody came by to update Data's programming.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. He could just be running on old firmware.
Right. Oh, you need to update. Data, you need an update. And Data says, no, I don't.
I much prefer the original pronunciation.
It becomes like a whole crisis episode. Data not updating his programming to the latest sensor firmware.
I don't want to order you, Mr. Data.
They did just like a little slight head tilt.
Yeah. Well, then the matter is settled.
But if you are the captain, why wouldn't you just order one of your subordinates to do what you want?
Oh, yeah. So they're tracking this shuttle, and it's evading them very handily, using a bunch of very convenient sci-fi mumble jumbo to get the drop on them.
Mumble jumbo or mumbo jumbo?
What did I say?
You said mumble jumbo.
I think you heard wrong.
I think you said wrong.
Mumble jumble. Yeah, mumbo jumbo. It sounds like a Banjo-Kazooie character.
I was about to say that.
Jumbo.
I think... well, Mumbo Jumbo, I think, literally is a Banjo-Kazooie character.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It's the guy. It's the witch doctor.
Oh, okay. I guess that would explain it.
Yeah. Boom, 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 boom.
But I thought I created a new character.
You saw the witch doctor.
Mm-hmm. So then the shuttle just tries to ram the Enterprise.
Yeah, it does these evasive maneuvers. It tries to ram the Enterprise. There's always nobody on board. The first time it eludes them, it succeeds, and then when it tries to ram them, they're smarter than that, and they say, "No, something's afoot here." And wouldn't you know it, something was afoot.
Mm-hmm.
What's his face? Who is this guy? What is his name?
Roga Danar.
Roga Danar was using his superior superhuman intellect to play a mild trick on everybody.
Yeah, and then they again, he's not appearing on their sensors as like a living being. Which I don't know what the consequences of that really are. I guess they can't track him, but they have O'Brien, which is weird to see O'Brien after watching Deep Space Nine. But they have O'Brien beam up anything that is large enough to be a human from the shuttle, which I could see going sideways in a lot of different ways, but whatever. The guy, Roga, transports onto the transporter room. Interesting, this is a completely new angle in the transporter room. We've never seen this angle before, over his right shoulder when he transports in.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's kind of a blink and you miss it thing.
I do remember having to build sections of the wall that weren't otherwise visible.
Mm-hmm.
But don't blink, and you will miss it.
Don't look up.
Don't.
So Roga has these guys at gunpoint and then decides not to shoot them.
Yes, which is explained later on in the episode, I believe. I don't remember the exact circumstances of this scene, but I know later on in the episode they say that he's only programmed to kill people who are threatening him, which is why
I feel like they were threatening him.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to remember. It's entirely possible.
Like there were two security personnel, and they were holding up their phasers at him, which feels like a threat.
Yeah, it is vaguely threatening, isn't it?
Oh well.
What are you gonna do?
There's an extended struggle session, and they incapacitate him and take him to the brig. This is the first time we see the new brig too, which is cool. Looks a lot nicer.
Yeah, it's a season 3 thing to have these new sets. You know, we saw Troy's office earlier in the season. Wasn't as cool, but it was new, strictly speaking.
Yeah, I mean, it looked nice. It's always nice to see new stuff because it's rare that you see new parts of the Enterprise.
And that's part of, going back to my Deep Space Nine thing, part of the show looking so visually boring is the Enterprise itself being very boring to look at.
You're crazy. I love the way the interior design of the Enterprise looks.
But the lighting, man.
The lighting's fine. It's supposed to look like that, though.
What is this? It's supposed to be bad.
Okay, sorry. There's not enough grim dark shadows.
That
Sorry. There's no aliens gambling in the background in some like smoky casino.
you should be sorry. Those things are all great on Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, sure, but like that's Deep Space Nine. That's why it has its own character.
Yeah, but the character of Deep Space Nine in this case, I guess, is it looks like a competent production.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
I'm not.
TNG is supposed to be this like utopian sort of view of the universe or whatever. I mean, it's not supposed to be that visually deep. I guarantee you it was an intentional choice.
There's no way. Absolutely no way.
It totally was. I guarantee you.
I don't believe
and
you.
I think it looks fine. Oh god, I can't. You start watching Deep Space Nine and now, oh god.
I'm sorry to inform you, but I am now a Deep Space Nine guy. I am turning traitor.
Well, the entire world disagrees with you.
What? That Deep Space Nine is? They think it's worse than TNG?
Absolutely, yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, because it is.
I really don't get it. I think the characters are the best thing about TNG. Like, they're much better than Deep Space Nine. So that's definitely a big point in its favor. But the look of the shows, the direction, the sets, the costumes, the stories, I think the stories are pretty comparable for the most part. I haven't finished Deep Space Nine yet, but the stories, I think, are both pretty enticing. Especially how Deep Space Nine has this very, very long, overarching plot of a galactic invasion, whereas TNG always keeps things contained to 2 episodes at the most.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, the scope of the show is a lot bigger in just about every way. Narratively, production, everything.
Huh. Well, you know what you might like is the J.J. Abrams Star Trek films. Those seem like they're up your alley.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Deep Space Nine is still not some shitty action show.
They have lots of big shooty scenes and
do they? Ooh.
And dark brooding characters and probably some aliens gambling in a casino somewhere.
Oh, I do love aliens gambling in a casino somewhere.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not. This isn't a Deep Space Nine podcast, nor will it ever be.
We got to do something after we finish TNG.
I guess that's true. It may become a Deep Space Nine podcast in 5 years.
Look forward to it.
Think about it. So yeah, this is around the time where Troy walks by the prison, and here's the thing. This episode was written, and it was the only episode of TNG written by Robin Bernheim, also known as Robin Burger.
I could go for a Robin Burger right now.
Red Robin Burger.
Yum.
And so she took this opportunity to kind of jam in her weird prisoner fetishist erotica. Which she was lucky because Troy is very well suited to this kind of plot. A lot of her scenes did end up getting rewritten, the more explicit stuff.
Yeah.
But we still see echoes of it. And, of course Troy wants to have sex with a prisoner.
That's just her thing.
In
the first... Yeah?
I was just going to say, she walks past the brig and is immediately like, I need to see this guy. I have to get emotionally involved with this man.
I remember in the first few drafts of her script, there were at least 6 separate instances of Troy shouting, "I can fix him" to various other characters.
Oh yeah. Like when Picard, kind of starts doubting her.
Yeah, I can fix him.
Yeah.
Starts crying.
Yeah. Her makeup starts streaking. And
now,
speaking of makeup, she's a little too made up this episode, isn't she?
Troy is always a little too made up in one or more senses of that phrase. Mostly in that she's fictional.
That helps. That helps.
She is too made up.
Yeah, and so she's like, she's talking to this prisoner. She's talking to Roga Danar.
Dana Rogar?
And, Dana Rogaine?
Oh, Keeps? Played for
Keeps.
Keeps?
Don't talk about our sponsor like that.
I just want to mention to everybody that Keeps will not regrow your hair. It will help you keep the hair you have.
Mm-hmm.
So if that doesn't, if that's not what you need, don't complain to us.
And that's what I think about all the time. What can I be doing to keep my hair?
Right.
What precautions can I take?
You don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah. That's true.
It's an old maxim. I read that in an old Maxim magazine once.
An old maxim. There's this really stupid line.
Mm-hmm.
Because Roga starts talking to Troy about his dark past, which is pretty boring, but he talks about how it's such a trite line. He talks about how like his commander also called himself a counselor.
Yes, and that I wrote this in my notes. That's the act break. That's the cut to commercial.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Right. If you gain more context as the episode goes on, it's still not a great line, but at the time, though, you're just, okay. He called himself a count. Oh, it's a commercial. Come back. I want to know.
I just took so much umbrage with it just because it's so stupid. It's like it's creating a tension just for the sake of creating tension.
Right.
And it doesn't work.
Not to mention...
Like, what is he not going to trust Troy now?
Yeah, the Troy-Danar relationship isn't even central to the episode, really.
No, it isn't, which is again, obviously it was a rewrite thing, but it ends up playing as weird.
Yeah.
Like, why bother?
Excellent question.
I guess why bother? Something to do, but why bother watching this episode, really? Roga has some stupid makeup. I say Roga. It's Jeff McCarthy playing Roga. He has a stupid makeup on like the left side of his head that I guess is supposed to be some kind of computer thing, but it's just obviously makeup.
I think it's supposed to make him look like an alien. Just he can't look too human.
Yeah,
otherwise people won't get it.
But it's like the Argonians. Argonians? Argolian? Angosian. Argonians are those lizards from the Elder Scrolls.
No, that's Argothian, I believe.
No, that's Argonian.
Hold on. Looking it up.
Unless they changed it.
Argonian?
Mm.
Alright. You are correct this time. But I'm watching you.
I'm something of an Elder Scrolls expert.
You are the Elder Scroll.
Played hundreds of hours of Arena back in the day.
You and your Arena.
Hey, it was a masterpiece.
Yeah.
The Zoomers don't get it.
I was more into Morrowind. I really liked swinging my sword. To little avail.
I liked the big, long leg alien things.
Yeah, it really made me feel like I was not in New Jersey.
There's no long-legged alien things in New Jersey?
No. There are not. Just short-legged alien things. Otherwise known as Italians.
Oh, God, they're the worst.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I just want to mention his stupid makeup. Troy goes to Picard, and just kind of she's very vague, which makes you wonder why even bother going to the captain about this at this point. She just goes into his office and says like 5 times, "There's something there," right?
Which is never really expanded upon.
Well, I guess it more or less refers to the fact that he he has like these sudden bouts of anger or pain or something that go away, which I guess would be weird. I don't know.
Does he though? It's more just people threaten him and then he, protects himself.
Yeah, sure, but when Troy found him sleeping, and that's when she felt that like burst of emotional pain or something from him.
Oh, he's so vulnerable. I can fix him.
Yeah, I can fix him. There's something there, Captain.
Captain, I can fix him. Counselor.
I do not understand. How does one fix a human?
I think it's then Data's like, in human parlance, fix means to neuter or something.
yeah. That's good. I want to mention Fish Watch. There's no fish in the tank this episode.
Yeah,
No fish in the tank.
I have been joining in Fish Watch in my own time. Now whenever a scene cuts there, I like, oh, is fish.
Yeah.
And I always let you fill me in if I miss the answer. For example, today I thought there was a fish in the tank.
Oh, no. There was no fish, which is it's so weird that like there's a fish there like 30% of the time.
Bizarre.
And then Picard calls the Prime Minister and he starts jabbing at him, asking him questions about this prison colony or whatever. And I guess this is the point where you as the audience already know exactly how this episode's going to go. Because the Prime Minister says, well, it's none of your concern, and then he logs off.
I don't know. I don't think that's cause to immediately suspect a childlike petty Picard.
Is he being childlike and petty?
I think so. Well, no, I mean he's justified, but what I mean is I don't think that immediately telegraphs the resolution of the episode in a way that's too obvious.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased because I've seen this episode a few times.
You like it that much?
And I worked on the episode, so. Picard's line, the age-old cry of the oppressor.
Yeah, no one was a fan of that. At all.
It's an interesting line. It reads like it was written by
Twitter?
Like a modern day Twitter user.
I buy that. That read of the situation. But it just goes to show that oppressors gonna oppress, as it were. What do you have a problem with me?
Damn. You oppressing and shit.
No, don't oppress me.
He should have said the age-old cry of the white oppressor.
I like it. Very, very into the identity politics.
Identity politics, Picard.
What?
Do better. Educate yourself and do better, Ensign.
Don't. We don't have to bully Picard like that. Does a good job.
You don't like
it?
So. You don't like it?
I don't like Picard.
What about super straight Picard?
Oh, he got bullied off the internet. It's a story we all know well.
It's part of the Readier Room lore.
It is.
It's on our wiki.
Few are privy to that part of the Readier Room's history. Now,
yeah.
What happened? What happened after this? So Danar, Fenar is
Danar, Bo Fenar.
Me, Mimo, Maynard. Fenar. Good lord.
Yeah, after this, there's another scene where Troy gathers everyone around in the meeting room and is talking about how much she loves Danar.
Shouting to everybody how much she can fix him. Which is a lot. A lot of fixing.
There's also some scenes with Data and Raynar.
Yeah.
Danar.
They have inexplicably have a relationship. You know?
Yeah, it's not very interesting.
It's not.
Nothing. Troy scenes.
Nothing's interesting.
No, not really. And then there's the scene where Picard comes in. I don't know if you have anything earlier than this that you want to talk about. But Picard comes in with Troy and says, "Oh, we're going to hand you over
to Danar."
Yeah, they're going to hand Danar over.
He doesn't say it to Troy.
No. Counselor, I'm hereby handing you over to Danar.
Let's see. And then this kicks off the whole escape sequence.
Yeah.
No, there is something dumb before the escape, but after this, they... How do I want to say this? When they go to transport him, out of the cell.
Oh yes, out of the cell, yeah.
Yeah, and he somehow breaks out of a transporter.
And doesn't die or get cloned.
Right, it's so bizarre.
Yeah, he uses like superpowers. I mean, he is a superhuman or whatever, but still, that's really dumb. I thought he was gonna die, to be honest.
You thought Danar was gonna Dinar?
Yeah, I thought he was gonna Dinar. Who are the Dinars?
Who deigns the Dinars?
Dinars. Oh, that's a form of currency. The dinar, right?
In our world?
Yeah, in our world.
I don't know. Maybe. Probably.
It's Kuwaiti. It's a Kuwaiti form of currency.
Kuwaiti me crazy.
Oh, Iraqi too.
Oh.
The Swiss dinar. Interesting.
Think about it. So he breaks out of a transporter by sheer tyranny of will, of presumably grabbing hold of the neutrinos and rending them asunder to allow him to forge his own path. This is never elaborated upon.
No, not at all. Not at all. We're just kind of expected to take it at face value, which I guess I did because I continued watching.
Did you like it?
No, not at all.
Yeah, it's ridiculous is the only way to put it.
Yeah, so he goes down to engineering and beats the shit out of the entire department.
And good for him. Good for this guy.
We see a lingering close-up of Geordi knocked out against the wall.
Right, with his visor on the ground.
I didn't realize was not his first scene in this episode.
Where else did Geordi show up?
I think he was... Oh, maybe it was his first scene. Because I know he talks to Data, but I can't remember if it was over the comm or like if he was actually on the bridge or what. Whatever.
Must not be important.
He so Danar. So Danar. So he makes his way into the Jeffries tube, which has a little bit of a history behind it.
Yeah.
The Jeffries tube. There's a lot of hubbub about the Jeffries tube in this episode.
Indeed there is.
And there's no explanation of who Jeffrey is or why he's claimed an entire part of the Enterprise for himself.
Now, what's funny is that in Deep Space Nine, Jeffrey also has some real estate on Deep Space Nine.
Really?
Yes.
That's so weird.
Whether it's the same Jeffrey or not, I could not tell you.
It could be So here's the thing. At some point, like around this time, I remember the writers were kicking around this idea of having this little golem-like creature living in the maintenance shafts, and it would feed upon the engineering staff. And the whole idea was that like the Enterprise had accidentally picked this up from some planet without realizing it, like it came on in a shuttle or something and started hiding in the shafts. And a whole episode would be devoted to trying to extract it from its own tube, because it was going to be called Jeffrey.
Right.
The alien creature. Whether that's a given name or a name of an alien species, I don't know. It would make more sense for it to be an alien species if Deep Space Nine also has Jeffrey's tube.
Yeah, because Deep Space Nine is set, well, in deep space.
In deep space.
Yes.
Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space Nine. It's in the game.
But yeah, we never ended up using Jeffrey the alien, I don't think. Which is a shame.
I agree. It is a shame. It's a nice idea, I believe. So it's, I don't know, it's just a little sad. Just a little sad.
Stuff gets cut all the time. What are you going to do?
Cry?
Instead, we're treated to a riveting 15 minutes of watching Danar run around the shaft and everyone stand around the bridge.
It takes for fucking ever. It's quite literally unreal how long this sequence lasts.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got to be like 10 or 15 minutes.
And it's again, I harped on this before. I will continue to harp. It's long, but that wouldn't be a problem if it wasn't so unexciting. It's just so boring. I can tell you what happens. He walks around, he opens a thing on the wall, he puts a phaser in the thing on the wall, he walks around again. They say, "Oh, Captain, he's walking around again." That's it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I understand this was supposed to be more dynamic too, though.
Yeah, there was that on all stages. So in the first versions of the script, it was a different thing, got rewritten. Then it became this chase scene that was more dynamic. But at this point, I think Patrick was the one who complained a lot. Just kind of wanted a break. So instead of the more like, oh, they're chasing him around the ship, Picard is hot on the trail, Patrick kind of whined about it. He said, "Oh, can't we just film the entire episode on the bridge set?"
Yeah.
And apparently the answer to that question is yes, but
yeah, just shit. Who was even moving around? Worf was, and I guess Geordi too, but
Worf going at a snail's pace, of course.
Yeah.
Otherwise he would catch him, which wouldn't be fair.
Trek is never really good when it's focusing on action.
No. And I wish they would know this. I wish they would learn this.
Right.
Deep Space Nine also has some of this. It's like, oh, we gotta have an action scene, and it's just fucking boring. You mentioned that Star Trek movie, the J.J. Abrams, and
that was just tragic.
Right.
I remember when that movie, the first movie, came out, and you would walk around and you would hear people's opinions of it, and they'd be like, "Oh, dude, you got to go see the new Star Trek. It's great. It's not even like Star Trek."
Which people would say unironically.
Yes, yeah, they said it. They said that like that was praise.
Which
I wanted to kill myself.
I can kind of get that, but the fact that people don't have the awareness that this is, for a whole group of people, an extreme negative.
Yeah. Well, Star Trek was made for like a certain audience,
right?
So,
and I bring back the original motion picture with its long, slow, boring 2001 Technicolor.
Yeah, well, everyone knows the odd-numbered original series Star Trek films were the worst.
Right. They were sabotaged internally. I remember
2 and 4 were really good.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead.
Producers sent people to make sure that the odd-numbered ones would not do well as part of a laundering scheme.
Mm-hmm.
But, Trek waxes and it wanes. It waxed.
It waxes poetic.
It window wanes.
The age-old cry of the oppressor.
Yes. Eventually they catch up to Danar inside of the shuttle bay, cargo bay.
Yeah, and who is they?
Worf. Just
Isn't
Worf?
Geordi there too?
No, I don't think Geordi's there.
Swear to God, he is.
You just think they all look the same.
Hold on. I'm gonna do a script search for LaForge.
Going well.
Oh. Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, maybe it is just Worf.
Yeah.
My bad.
It is your bad. So Worf shows up.
In my defense, I wasn't even watching the episode anymore.
It's a professional podcast. It's a higher standard than we've ever had before. Anyway, they have a fight scene at the confrontation. And I got to give a shout out to the styrofoam artisans for this episode.
Yeah.
The scene just would not have worked without them.
If you look really closely, all those big cargo containers that Worf is pinned under, they're actually made, and this is crazy, they're made of styrofoam, right?
Right. You would think that we would have sourced, military grade cargo containers.
Mm-hmm. And pinned Michael under them.
Right. Just tossed them at him.
But no, actually, Michael had sprained his wrist right before filming, so we had to think of alternatives. He couldn't lift that much.
No. We do usually like to put our actors through some amount of training for this exact reason. But, beggars cannot be choosers.
Beggars Canyon.
Choosers Valley.
Oh yes, that's great. Yeah, so he does end up escaping. He beams himself onto the Angosian shuttle that's supposed to pick him up and hijacks it. And then makes his way over to Lunar 5 and picks up approximately 5 people.
Yeah, it's very seemingly low stakes.
Yeah.
That whole prison colony with its 5 inhabitants.
So on the bridge, and for some reason, Picard didn't feel like it was immediately necessary to let the Prime Minister know that this guy had escaped. So he just lets the Prime Minister find that out on his own. And he calls into the Enterprise bridge, and now he's all mad, and he's like, you have to do something. So Picard takes, and this is what's interesting. Why is he taking Troy to a battlefield?
Because of her history with Danar, but of course,
because she loves him.
Captain, I love him.
So he doesn't take Riker, but Riker follows them to the transporter room, and then for some reason, apropos of really nothing, he pulls Worf back and says, "You are personally responsible for the captain's safety," as if that's not always the case.
Yeah, I feel like that was a scolding for letting him get away, letting Danar get away.
Oh, maybe.
Which is also strange. They don't usually operate that way with petty scoldings, but it was a weird line.
Wait, who's petty scoldings?
I think that was Frakes' understudy.
No, that was Youngblood.
Oh, you're right.
Or was that his real name?
I think it was. Petty Scoldings might also have been the law firm that the show worked with.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Petty Scoldings Maybridge LLC.
Right. Lalissa.
They're not doing too hot these days, huh?
No. The Scoldings are too petty.
No. So yeah, they travel to the same single building that they were in at the beginning of the episode, which again is being stormed by Danar and his 5 men. And there was actually, of course, it was a budget time thing. There was supposed to be a shootout here, and that didn't end up happening. But I almost think it shouldn't have happened anyway.
Not a fan of the shootout?
Well, it's like you're kind of stepping on the toes of the theme here. If you're just going to end the episode by having all these people die. Don't you think?
That's tough.
Like, let's assume that this episode was good up to this point.
I refuse.
Mm.
Okay, but I'll indulge you for a moment. But a moment.
What would a shootout bring to the table at the very end of it?
Nothing.
Right. It's completely just it's masturbation, really.
Just smashing
Especially
your action
because-
figures together.
Yeah. And especially because we've been treated to about a collective 25 minutes of people just running around doing shit all.
I had the feeling that this episode was always supposed to involve some amount of ethical dilemmas.
Yeah, and it never did. It's just like it's extremely one note.
Right.
Nothing about this episode makes you say, "Oh, maybe the Prime Minister has a point." It's just no. The Angosians are comically evil, and they permanently genetically engineered part of their population and sent them to go live on the moon. At which point, I mean, of course you're on their side.
The idea of the way you phrase that is hilarious to me. Sending them to live on the moon, which is accurate but hilarious.
I was gonna ask why they didn't just kill them, but they're not predisposed to violence. So.
Right. But they still had reason to create soldiers, which I don't know who they were fighting. Maybe half of the world was predisposed to violence, half of them were not, and somehow the half that wasn't won the war. Like, why did they make super soldiers if they don't have conflicts?
Well, it was for the Tarsian War.
Oh, with the Tarsians, but of course.
Well, this was going to be my question for you, my trivia question for you.
Oh, who Tarses the Tarsians?
Who they fought in the Tarsian War?
Is this just a line from the episode? Should I know this?
Maybe.
You're really putting the screws on me. Should I answer this right now?
If you want.
I kind of
I've already
want.
brought it up.
I kind of want.
Kind of want.
Kind of want. Who does Tars the Tarsians? The Klingon. No, the Klingons would have killed him. It can't be a race I know, because that doesn't make any sense. Let's say those dog people from season 2.
Oh, the dog people.
Yeah.
Wow. I missed that. Were they from season 2?
It might have been season 1.
I think it's season 1, yeah. No, it's not the dog people. It's the Tarsian War.
Oh. Somehow I had it in my mind that they were the Tarsians, and
they're the Angosians.
Not only that they had named the war that they fought after themselves. Which is just that tickles me.
The answer is, of course, we don't know. We have no idea what they fought. It's unspecified. Never gets clarified in the Apocrypha.
Thanks for that.
They call it.
Asshole.
They call it the. They call it the Tarsian War. Why? What is Tarsia? Are Tarsians a race of aliens? Is it?
That's what you might think. But who knows in the end.
I mean, if they're non-violent, I mean, maybe there's a civil war. Who knows? But this really bothers me for some reason, and it shouldn't.
You should write a letter.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Who are the Tarsians? Who Tarses the Tarsians?
You love that.
That's yours. I'm indulging you.
Ah. I love being indulged.
Yeah, I know you do. I know, honey.
I'm seeing an ad for Picard Season 2. It starts streaming on March 3rd.
Can't wait. Was it on Paramount Plus?
Yeah. Yeah, so who cares?
Who pluses the
Although,
Paramount?
We're going to have to get Paramount Plus in order to watch Sonic the Hedgehog Knuckles.
Kunkles.
Uncles, yeah, as some call them. So this episode ends with Picard just beaming down, looking around, and then beaming right back up and saying, "Okay, you deal with it."
Yeah, I like his inaction, but I don't think it was necessarily earned.
Sure, yeah.
Or rather, I don't think a satisfying conclusion was necessarily earned.
I think what bothers me is that he volunteered to catch the prisoner, let him get away, beams down to the planet, and then he's really smug about it. It's like, oh, it's your problem now.
He just really wanted to deny their application to the Federation. Maybe you can join after you sort this out.
Right. Well, that would be funny. That would be a funny turn of events.
Picard's just prejudiced against other societies.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, overall...
And that's it.
Overall, this episode sucked.
Yeah, I think... This is worse than that other Troy episode.
With Lloyd Braun?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It's really just that action scene that puts it over the top.
It's the multiple action scenes.
Yeah, they're all bad. They're all bad. Episodes like this are always going to stand as proof that of the fallibility of TNG. Even if it is a classic television series, no matter where you are in its run, it's not going to be perfect.
Right, yeah. Unlike Deep Space Nine.
Unlike Deep Space Nine, which was perfect from the first episode.
Yeah, this is such a depressingly bad episode. I'm surprised we made it through this entire conversation
without giving up.
This gets 1 saucer sep out of 5 from me.
Yeah. Which, going back to the topic of good T-shirts, the line of 5 saucer sep rating shirts with little silhouettes of saucer seps depending on which one you bought.
Of course,
1 to 5.
Of course,
yeah.
I get them all.
I got them all, and I wear them just to give people ideas at home. I wear them depending on my mood that day.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. If I'm not feeling so good, I'll maybe give 1 or 2 saucer seps. If I wake up feeling great, that's a full 5 saucer seps.
Sometimes you change them in the middle of the day, too.
Yeah. If I get some upsetting and or delightful news.
Mm-hmm.
I guess "and" isn't really something I would use there.
Upsetting and delightful.
Well, we already did trivia, so I guess that's it.
Yeah, that's it. I just want to note that I got an email from an American fella.
Yeah.
Who's upset that that we've drawn nipples on our pregnant Troy shirt.
That's just the female form.
They're kind of hard, and you can see them through the uniform.
Right.
I just want to clarify that yes, you are correct. We're not going to compromise our artistic vision. So, you can buy the shirt or not.
I don't think people realize how cold it is in space.
Yeah. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially when you're pregnant.
What are we gonna forsake realism?
You're pregnant and you don't have any pickle juice to drink.
Right. So you just got hard nips.
Yeah. Sounds like true hell.
Pregnant Troy steps my saucer.
For sure. And I don't know if any of you ensigns have been pregnant before, but it's not a pleasant experience.
No. All the times I've been pregnant have really left a mark. Have ravaged my body.
Mm-hmm.
You know what a stretch mark is?
Oh, what's a stretch mark?
It's this guy who works at the gym teaching yoga classes. That's gonna be it for this episode of the Readier Room. Join us next week where we inexplicably find another episode of Star Trek The Next Generation to talk about. I want to remind everyone at home that the Readier Room is sponsored by Denny's, home of the Moon's Over Miami, and new for spring, it's the Easter egg hunt special, where there's 4 eggs scattered around your plate of breakfast, but you have to find them under various pieces of toast and such. Look forward to that. That's dropping at the beginning of the next month, beginning of March. I've seen it. It looks very delicious. And yeah, they cook the eggs sunny side up this time, which presumably will add another saucer sep to your day. Yeah, you'd have to change your shirt right in the middle of breakfast.
Yeah, it's a big change from the usual sunny side down.
Exactly. Or scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this?
No, what's that all about?
They put the egg in the pan and really fuck it up. It comes out just tore up.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, it's not unlike what pregnancy has done to me. Now,
right.
The Ready Room is also sponsored by the Pep Boys, which they're still changing your oil in about 3 minutes, and you can still get a discount on that if you tell them that you're readier at the discount at the register rather. And yeah, with that, I will leave.
Don't forget the tagline: Pep Boys.
Pep Boys do it right.
Pep Boys do anything.
Hell yeah, they do. They even give discounts to supporters of the Readier Room. Until then, with that said, it'll be until next week. I look forward to meeting all of my lovely ensigns once more unto the breach. Ready to go. Readier until we die. Until then, everybody, please stay readier.
Readier.
The troublesome little man-child.
I stand before you defrocked, condemned to be a member of this lowest of species.
Thank you, Ensign. Engage.
Do you consider yourself superior to us?
Should have told him to mind his own damn business.
But I stroked the beard thusly. Do I not appear more intellectual?
Computer, freeze program.
Have you never dreamed of climbing inside the bottle?